Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to part 4 of What If Naruto was able to absorb people out Majin Buu. When we left off, Naruto had Zabuza pinned in his goo, like holding up in the air, controlling him, questioning him. He also unlocked Ki, like Kid Buu's Ki. And yeah, some other abilities that we're going to go over. Now, jump straight back into it because I cannot be bothered to give you some recap. If you don't know what's going on, don't be here, bruv. Or go watch the other parts. I'm not going to sit here and give you a whole recap just because you don't want to watch the other parts. Suck outs. Actually, I'm not going to talk about your mothers. That's offensive. Let's get straight back into this. Naruto now holding Zabuza in the air, repeatedly questioning him. What's your plans after this? Why did you attract the bridge builder? And Sasuke keeps on saying, Zabuza keeps on paying. I got paid. But he's refusing to say who paid him. He just said some rich guy. And Naruto's starting to get ticked off. But before Naruto can do anything, 2 senbons he's pierced Zabuza's neck and knock it. Well, what everyone else perceives to be dead. But Naruto can still sense a bit of life in him. But of course, he's interested to see what's going on. And he drops Zabuza. That's when a mask, what seems to be a kid, appears over Zabuza's body and explains the situation. He's a rogue ninja from our village, holding valuable information. I must take him back to our village to dissect his body for secrets, blah blah blah. But Naruto immediately says, I don't think so. That was my fight, I don't care if you killed him. I need to inspect his body first to see if there's anything on him. Haku, whom we know is Haku, is reluctant to get into a fight, and of course agrees. Naruto walks over and searches him, finds a money bag, and takes it. Seeing this, Kakashi face plants, thinking, oh, all the values I thought he had, he doesn't. He's stealing from the dead. And then Naruto says, good, my kill, my rewards. And his arms turn into goo and surround Zabuza, and he starts absorbing him. And he says, I might as well just absorb the body. Hearing this, Haku panics and attacks Naruto, just severing the goo from the arm. And Naruto jumps back. The goo, of course, around Zabuza flies back towards him. Of course, Naruto could have absorbed Zabuza with that, but he sees no fun in doing this. And his arm is restored. This confuses Haku, but he isn't going to stand there and question it. Now with his cover blown and he's on Zabuza's side, he has to fight. And he immediately removes the senbon from Zabuza's neck. Of course, in reality, this would take him weeks to recover, but using a special technique, he immediately recovered Zabuza, and Zabuza shoots up. And he's like, oh, my top body's sore. Seeing Haku must have realised what's happened. But how that he's actually awake now, he also realises that Haku didn't get away with it. And now the fight's going to get 10 times harder. But also 10 times more fun. Before anything can be explained, Zabuza does hand signs to, create that love a little bit of mist. But this does not affect Naruto with his pink Sharingan. He can see through it clearly, as if there was no mist there at all. And before Zabuza has a chance to prepare any sort of attack, Naruto is on his ass, throwing combos after combos, which of course are getting blocked, because Naruto is not going seriously. And as Zabuza gets comfortable with Naruto's movements, Naruto coats his hand in pink goo, but due to the mist, Zabuza can't see through this either, and he just prepares to block it like it's a normal punch. Due to this, Zabuza feels his bones crack. It's not as hard as when he hit Kakashi, but it's still enough to break an arm, and Zabuza gets flying back. This scares Haku, and he knows he has to take it seriously. And he dives at Naruto, attempting to lock him at Ice Prison Jutsu. But Sasuke gets in the way, and gets locked in it instead. So now we get that fight that would get in canon. Except that Naruto decides he should deal with Zabuza first, until he hears a scream coming from Sasuke's end. He yells at Kakashi, I'm going to leave this to you, and rushes in to help Sasuke. Zabuza, who's used a special technique to slightly heal his arm, says, do you really think I'd let you? And he chucks his blade at Naruto. Naruto gets really annoyed, spins round and grabs the blade from a handle which flew past his face, and chucks it full speed back at Zabuza. This impels Zabuza in his stomach, and he rips it out. Zamasu this isn't his first time getting stabbed. He can still fight. But Zamasu is now on the timer with about 5 minutes and he bleeds out. But he's also shocked that the weight of the sword is not light. It takes a strong ninja to be able to lift it. And to be able to chuck it at that speed, that's something even he would struggle with. Just what is that kid? But Naruto breaks into the Ice Prison Jutsu to see one of Sasuke's arms covered in senbon. This annoys him, and using pink goo at speeds that Haku can react to, he zooms at his face and boots Haku dead on in the face, breaking his mask and sending him flying into one of his ice walls. Haku, not unconscious, and he's like conscious of course, he gets up and thinks, what speed, what strength, I cannot take him lightly. And he looks up to see that Naruto's completely healed Sasuke's arm. This alarms Haku, as a ninja who's also far stronger and can also use healing jutsu. It is a deadly, deadly combo. His only hope is that Naruto isn't good at ninjutsu. Of course, knowing this, Haku doesn't take any risk and dives into his ice prison jutsu walls and is floating about. He's chucking senbon after senbon, but Naruto's just eating these like ice senbons and it's getting like sucked into him. After about the 20th senbon, Naruto's body is finally absorbed enough of it to get a understanding of this ice release. And Naruto laughs. He concentrates this like he has basically the ice release now, so I'm calling that, when I say that, if I don't want to say ice release, I say ice chakra. He concentrates ice chakra into his hand and he sprays a very, very cold blast like wind and like chakra all over the mirrors, freezing them over, locking Haku inside it. He's going to be stuck in there for like 20 seconds just to think, what? That kid can use ice style as well? Ice release as well? Impossible. Just what is he? Naruto rushing over to Sasuke, making sure he's okay again. They get a chance to make a plan. Naruto, of course, remember, is a genius, and the plan is made. With this, Naruto... Haku breaks out the Ice Prison Jutsu and realises he needs to go seriously. Using the mirrors and her full speed, his full speed, he rushes about and actually manages to nail Naruto's shoulder, blowing it into bits just for it to heal. And from that one attack, he realises attacking Naruto is useless until he figures out how to beat him. Time to go for Sasuke. And he lunges at Sasuke just for Naruto to get in the way again. Naruto's main plan was, since Sasuke can't keep up with his speeds, Naruto was going to take the blows and Sasuke's going to launch out attacks out of the walls till they break. And that's what he does. Naruto underestimates the durability of the Ice Prison Jutsu. Just when he sees that Sasuke's fast style can't break it. And he realises his plan needs to change. He gets into his fight mode where that's basically him just getting ready to fight. His shoulders relax a little bit, but also go to his side, ready to throw punches. And the look in his eye where he's ready to kill appears. And the white around his eyes turn to black. As ki explodes from Naruto's body, making some of the windows crack. This confuses everyone there who could sense it. They didn't know what it was. It wasn't like chakra, it was different. But it was dark and what seemed to be evilish. But along with a bright side, which was Naruto. And Naruto just explodes with this ki. Cracking in the windows until they stop cracking. They're barely even stable, but of course Haku repairs them. Naruto, seeing Haku in one of the windows, lunges at him. And Haku says, useless. These ice windows are unbreakable. But Naruto punches it and they shatter. One by one, Naruto's destroying more and more windows. And he even uses ki to enhance his speed until finally, something weird happens. Naruto tests out a theory. He uses ice release he uses a similar type of ice like chakra and he lunges inside the window and tackles Haku. I'm calling this like a weird ice dimension. It's basically the normal world, but everything's icy. And he's now scrapping Haku in there. Sasuke can see into these mirrors and he can see their reflections of the fight going on, and he's just confused. As for someone who was meant to be insanely fast that Sasuke couldn't even keep up with, Naruto was absolutely making him look stupid. Moving at speeds Sasuke couldn't even... Naruto was moving at speeds that Sasuke couldn't even keep up with. And Haku was just getting a punch after punch after punch after punch. He was bloodied now. He didn't even look like a guy anymore. He just looked like some animal. And with that, Naruto booted him out of the ice dimension and flies down with him. No longer using ki, he powers down, holding Haku down to the ground by his throat. Of course, by now in canon, the same thing's happened. Zabuza is being held down by dogs and Kakashi has the Chidori ready. And Haku launches out to save Zabuza, but Naruto doesn't let that happen. He appears right on top of Haku just before he reaches Zabuza, and he forces his feet down, slamming Haku into the ground. But at the same time, he catches Kakashi's Chidori, using his pink lightning to counteract the shock. Everyone seeing this is shocked, and Naruto, with a very deadly look in his eye, "This doesn't seem like a normal Naruto," says in a deep voice, I started that fight. I gave him the fatal injury. It's my kill." Giving Kakashi a death scare as he tightens his grip. Kakashi wincing from pain. Naruto immediately lets go, shaking his head. He didn't know what that was, but it did the job. And Kakashi backs up. He assumes that this is just the thrill of the fight. Like, shouldn't we get caught up in it all the time? There's no need to get too alarmed. And Kakashi backs down. Sorry guys, I'm getting a cold and it's not nice. Just a bunch of phlegm in the back of my throat. Now with a battered Haku and a nearly bleeding out Zabuza, Naruto heals up Zabuza's injury, saying it. This does not save him from the blood loss at all. But it does, how do I put this? It does stop him from dying. And he's going to slowly rejuvenate using his chakra. Now, Naruto's standing over Haku, and they ask him, "What's your reason for being a rogue shinobi?" And Haku gives the life story about how he lives for Zabuza. And although Zabuza's heard some of it, but he hasn't heard the whole story. And unknown to him, he's actually crying when he hears Haku explain this. But he keeps it on the down low. But Naruto notices it. And he says, "So that explains. I kind of feel bad that I'm about to kill you now." This shocks everyone there. They thought hearing this sub story would let Naruto would go easy and then would let him go. But Naruto, just as he was as a kid, no remorse. These ones start the fight. Naruto's gonna finish it. He pulls out a kunai and he says, "I'll do the honor of at least making it quick." He first goes to stab Zabuza, but Haku attempts to get in the way again. But of course Naruto was ready for this, and it just pisses him off. Naruto says, "For God's sake, you have no regard for life. Your own life." And he grabs Haku's face and spins round and slams the back of his head into the concrete floor. Really, really annoyed now. He's radiating Nanto's chakra. As he's pushing it down more and more and more as the crater's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Kakashi has to put his hand on Naruto's shoulder to calm him down. And Naruto nearly lashes out at Kakashi. And due to this, he suddenly realises that something isn't right. These emotions aren't his. Just get him under control for now. And Naruto says to Haku, "If you want to be dead that bad, I guess I will fulfill your wish. But just know." Naruto kneels down and whispers in Haku's ear, Don't you dare think that Zabuza's going to survive. I'm going to kill him. Don't think just because you gave your life I'm going to show him some mercy. If he didn't start the fight, I would have no problem sparing him, but he started the fight ready to kill me. So I'm going to end the fight ready to kill him. So I'm just letting you know now, you're not going to be alone in the afterlife. Zabuza's coming to join you. Hearing this, Haku begins to break down. He thought for some stupid reason that after hearing this sob story, Naruto would at least spare Zabuza. And Naruto reaches his hand inside Haku's mouth, hold onto his tongue. Says, "One more whine out of you, I'm going to rip out your tongue. Don't start a fight in this world if you're not ready to be killed." And Zabuza laughs and says, "He's right, Haku. After all I taught you, I thought you understand that. I started this fight, and if Naruto didn't kill me, I'll be very ashamed, disappointed, and actually pissed off." Haku starts bitching, and I mean bitching, like, No, you didn't deserve this, you're not a bad person, them people you killed deserved it, we didn't do anything wrong. And Naruto loses his nuts. Haku's eyes open wide as he screeches in pain as Naruto's now ripped out his tongue. But he promised Haku a mostly painless death, so before he feels anything, Naruto decapitates Haku. Seeing that Haku's death was mostly painless except for the ripped out tongue, Zabuza lays back and says, Kid, I'm not going to ask you to spare me. I'm just going to ask you to make it painless. Send me the Haki quickly. Naruto smirks and says, after hearing that I have respect for you, not begging for your life, you understand it's your time, and like a true ninja, you accept it. You have my respect, Zabuza. I'll make this painless for you. Naruto creates purple lightning on his hand, and Hulk puts his head, not purple, pink lightning on his hand, and places it on Zabuza's head, frying Zabuza's brain, instantaneously killing him, no pain at all. And then he absorbs both Zabuza and Haku's body, gaining everything, like Zabuza, not memories, he's gaining Zabuza's sword skills, his jutsus, he gets a better understanding of Haku's ice release, his techniques. As although Naruto knew about how to use ice release, he didn't know the techniques, or the jutsus. Oh my god, it's currently midnight right now, I'm tired, guys. But yeah, with this, everyone just looked at Naruto completely shocked. They've noticed over time, Naruto has had less tolerance, he's accepting less bullshit, and he's just ready to end people off any time of the day. And as they're all looking at him with fear, Naruto gets pissed. That dark energy from before seeps out, and he yells at all of them, "Get your eyes off me before you lose them!" And Ki explodes in him, throwing all of them back. Naruto holding his head, something's changing, he can't control this dark thoughts, these dark urges, and he flies back to the Leaf Village, only to lose consciousness halfway as inside him the chakras are fighting, chakra and Ki are fighting. It's like when he gets inside his mind, he sees a weird pinkish figure, he can't see it clearly, it's more like an aura, fighting against the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails is actually winning, but it doesn't mean it's without difficulty, and as he has him pinned down, one of the Nine Tails get burned, and Naruto rushes in to help. He doesn't really know the Nine Tails, but he's had 1 or 2 conversations with him. And he seems like a decent guy. So he pushes the tail away, at the same time healing it. This shocks Kurama, and Naruto plunges his hand right through this Ki's chest, and it absorbs into Naruto, giving him a bit of stability over his emotions, and also increasing his Ki power. But other than that, guys, if you want to figure out what's happening, come back next time, because it's the end of it.